Thank you, Shanti. My name's Tom Coughing. I've written 85 books on almost every system on the market. I love the architecture, how systems work, and I show people how to design around what the system does. And of course, I love SQL. Yellowbrick is one of the finest systems I've ever seen architected, and I'm so excited that I'm a partner with them. We handle the virtualization part and the migration. You'll see that here. There's your data center. You've got disparate systems everywhere. But when you put our Nexus server software out there, these systems are now connected as if they're one. Now here's the architecture. The user can do anything on their PC, but it runs on the server. I want to move data, pick the source, the target, click the button, and the server runs it for you with your credentials. It actually converts the table structures, comes up with one of 100 different utilities based on the systems, and it moves that data. Let's show you the desktop. This is your Nexus, and this is your system tree. Take a look at all of the systems you can connect to. Can you move between all of them? Of course. Can you join across all of them? Absolutely. Let's start by showing the cache tree. I want to look for social security number and see where it's at in every system in my enterprise. This tree comes up. There it is in Yellowbrick, Teradata below. In every system it's listed. But this is a live tree. I can query this. I'm going to come in here and right click on a table and say, hey, I want to do a quick select. Brings all the columns up. I've now selected, and I've got over 600 rows coming back from the subscribers on the Yellowbrick system. And notice social security number is encrypted via the Soterosoft software. Now, big part of being able to gather data is to be able to move data to your sandbox or to different systems. I'm going to do that right now in one of the many ways we do this. I've got my Yellowbrick result set. I'm going to drag it up to a MySQL system. It'll say, what do you want to name this? And I go, amazing. Well, it is graceful, so let's call it Amazing Grace. And as soon as I click OK, Nexus does all the conversions and it is moved to MySQL. Let's right click on that and say, hey, show me the MySQL system. Now in a different tab, you can see the same amount of rows come back. That table was moved. A big piece of the Nexus is data migration. People are spending millions to migrate between systems, and they no longer need to do that when they have Nexus. Right click on any database on any system and say, I want to move it. And they go, which system? And I go, I'm going to move it to Yellowbrick. All I need to do on the source is click my tables. I could have one-clicked the top table button and everything in the database is ready to go. I want to go to Yellowbrick in this database, in this schema. When I hit this blue button, everything I checkmarked moves over, and now I'm going to be able to execute this and everything's done for me. I can do more sophisticated things, ETL, ELT, I can cast things. I can do a lot of things if I'm really an ETL team migrating. But if I'm fairly new at this, everything's really done for you because we've been doing this for 15 years. And as it turns green, you know it moved. If it turns red, there was an issue, you can check the log. This moved perfectly. Now, not only can we convert between the systems, move that data, now we're going to do the super join builder. I right clicked on my Yellowbrick addresses table, and now I can see what it joins to. And I can pick from a menu, those three tables are ready to go. The user just merely has to click the columns they want on the report, and Nexus begins to build the SQL. Notice, with every click of the mouse, the SQL changes. I'll add first name, last name, street, city, state. It's ready to go. But I've got other ways to manipulate this. Up to the left here, there's tables, columns, order by, tables. Now I'm going to the columns area. These are the columns I selected. That's what the report's going to look like in that order. Below, I didn't select those. But I can move things around like a Rubik's Cube, and every time I move something, that SQL changes. I got first name, last name, claim date. Even from the bottom, I didn't pick it. I want gender code. I just drag it up. Now gender is now in there as if I check marked it. Let's go to the order by tab. I want to order by columns on the top or the bottom. And I'll go with last name as well as claim date descending. First name, last name, claim date. There it is. It'll default to inner joins, but you can do left, right, or full outer joins. You can put in anywhere clause very simply. And you can do analytics. Metadata, it shows you the row count. You'll see this is important as sizing because you'll be able to pick where you want things processed here. So the sizing of this and knowing the knowledge of that's pretty important. Here we're going to go and add a MySQL table to our query. We'll add a Teradata one after that. All you do is drag it in. If you touch the table you're going to join to and say, I join it by these columns, it'll remember the next time. Now I can select from the MySQL table what columns I want, and the SQL changes once again. Let's add a Teradata table. Once again, I pick from my tree the Teradata table I want to join. I drag it in, and it says, hey, I haven't seen that before. How do those two tables join together? And I go, well, service code and claim service, press the blue button and finish. This is now going to be ready to join. I can save this join so I never have to do it again, although I can alter the columns I want in the report. And I'm going to call it this. And I can share this with everyone in the enterprise. That's the real idea behind this. Everybody can access all data in all systems if they have the security to do so. Here is the hub. This is what nobody else really does. We don't have a one-size-fits-all. We say, look, you can join this anywhere you want. We've chosen Yellowbrick. That's the hub. All foreign tables will move to Yellowbrick, and the join will come back very, very quickly. And notice claim amount's encrypted because of Soterosoft. Yellowbrick's the perfect hub because it moves data so fast and queries billion-row tables in a second. Now, I decided, you know what? I don't want to run it on Yellowbrick this time. I want to run it on my PC. The Nexus will query each table separately, only bring back the columns and rows that it needs, and it will process the join inside your PC like your PC's its own data warehouse. And there is the answer set, same one we got before. Now, if I have a large amount of rows, one of the tables huge, I can say, you know, I want to process this on the Nexus server. And then the Nexus server will bring each of these tables in, process it in its memory, and you'll be able to get that answer back very quickly as well. So small data and big data can be joined totally differently. And there is my answer set. You can process the join anywhere, any database system, your PC, any server, depending on what your needs are. Now I'm going to add the join right that we just did. I'm going to click on that and add it to my tree. So now you'll see in the federated area, there it is. And at any time I can execute that with a single click. Now that it's been set up, I right click and say execute. And now it's going to run the federated query. You should be able to join data across your enterprise or move any table to your sandbox or migrate as you see fit. That's the new way of data because there's so many exciting systems that you're going to want to work with, and you're going to have data everywhere. Now, I'm going to do some very interesting things because you've seen the data movement. You've seen the federation and the joining. You've seen just how many clever things we have from the cache tree on. Now I'm going to come in and show you that when a business user gets data on their Nexus at the PC level, they can do a lot with that. And that's a very important aspect of this. I just brought a query back with over 6,000 rows and I hit the pivot button. I'm going to pivot this data as simply as you saw before. I'm just going to drag region down there, salesperson. I want to see all my products and I want to see the daily sales. If I want to make it bigger, I just hit the control mouse wheel and it comes bigger. I see all my grand totals, what I did across for Mary Jones and Will and Gary and Helen and North and South. I see the boots, the jackets, the jeans, the t-shirts totals, and I see all of the grand totals. That's the pivoting that a business user needs to be able to do. Now I'm going to take a sales table and take this even further. Why know all the analytics and be able to write those when you don't need to? Let's go do the analytics and let's do some of the window functions. I want to get a report where I rank my sales. All I do is right click on the result set that I want. We gather all result sets that you get. And now I just use these templates to say, oh, I want daily sales descending and I want to partition my product ID and that's what I want. Give me my report and it's done instantly because it's inside your PC. We've made your PC its own data warehouse. So I can get over 100 different analytics. Now, let's get some graphs and charts and put it in a dashboard. Just point and click. I want to see the daily sales. I want to see the sort of my product ID. And now it's in a dashboard. And now I'll get 50 different reports that I can just run in a presentation, or I can scroll this and now it's going to scroll across. I can even compare and see the different charts and I can see them in thumbnails. That is your Nexus. And now let me turn it over to Lorenzo Danesi from Yellowbrick. Lorenzo?